The pen never hit the paper. That's it. That's the story. One man walked into that ring with one job sign his name, and before the ink could even breathe, Smackdown turned into an absolute war zone. Welcome to Slam Nation. And if you are new here, you picked the perfect moment to show up, because what we are breaking down today is one of the most chaotic, most emotionally charged, most jaw-dropping segments in recent Smackdown history. Royce Keys did something Friday night that has the entire WWE Universe still shaking their heads, and we are going deep on every single second of it. But before we dive in, if you love WWE drama, shocking betrayals, and moments that make you throw your remote across the room, smash that like button right now, subscribe to Slam Nation, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment below telling me whose side you are on after watching this. We are building a community of the most passionate wrestling fans on the internet, and that community starts with you. Now let's get into it. To understand why Friday night broke the internet, you have to understand the weight of what this contract signing was supposed to mean. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. The man who literally came back from a torn pectoral muscle on the grandest stage of them all, who carried the story of finishing his father's dream all the way to the top of WWE. He is now the reigning WWE Champion. And Gunther, the Ring General, the most dominant Intercontinental Champion in the modern era, a man who walks into every room like he already owns it. These two were set to sign a contract that would make their championship collision official. This was supposed to be historic. A marquee match. A moment of prestige. Smackdown had the stage set perfectly. The contract table was there. The suits were there. The cameras were ready. And then Royce Keys happened. But what happened next shocked everyone, and nobody in that arena, nobody watching at home, saw it coming. The segment opened with an electric atmosphere. Cody Rhodes walked down that ramp the way only Cody can, head held high, the weight of the title on his shoulder, the American dream living in every single step. The WWE Universe was on their feet. The emotion in that building was real. Gunther followed. Cold. Measured. Ruthless. The Ring General doesn't play to the crowd, he commands the room just by existing in it. When those two men stood across that contract table from each other, you could feel the tension through the screen. The promo exchange was everything. Cody talked about legacy. Gunther talked about dominance. Back and forth, two of the best talkers in the company today, building something that felt genuinely special. Fans could not believe the electricity in that building. And then the music hit. Royce Keys. The moment that theme touched the speakers, something shifted in the arena. You could feel it. That confused energy, that uncertain buzz from the crowd, that split second of wait, why is he out here right now? And then the chaos began. Royce Keys did not walk down that ramp to observe. He did not come out to clap. He did not come out to congratulate anyone. He came out to destroy the entire moment. Keys got into that ring with a purpose that was terrifying in its clarity. And what unfolded next was the kind of segment that gets clipped 1,000 times on social media, that trends on X within minutes, that has every wrestling journalist scrambling for their keyboards. He went straight for the contract. This completely changed everything. The verbal exchange between Keys, Rhodes, and Gunther erupted into something far beyond a contract signing. It became a declaration of war. Keys inserted himself into this rivalry with the kind of aggressive, unhinged energy that makes you lean forward in your seat. He wasn't asking for a spot at the table. He was flipping the table. And when things escalated physically, when that first shove happened, the arena detonated. What makes this moment so layered is the psychology underneath the madness. Think about it. Gunther wants Cody. Gunther has been laser focused on proving that the WWE Championship belongs around his waist. The Ring General does not appreciate interruptions, he views them as insults to his greatness. So when Royce Keys stepped into his moment, Gunther's fury was barely contained. But Cody? Cody Rhodes is someone who has been through wars. He has stared down the most dangerous opponents this company has ever produced. He does not flinch easily. And yet the look on Cody's face when Keys made his move told the whole story. Because this wasn't just an interruption. This was a statement. The WWE Universe exploded after this happened. Security tried to restore order. Officials rushed the ring. And in the middle of all of it, the contract, the physical document that was supposed to cement one of the biggest matches of the year, sat unsigned on that mat. The match. Still. Not. Official. Things became even more chaotic backstage, with tempers running hot long after the cameras stopped rolling on that segment. Now here is where it gets even more interesting, because what Royce Keys did is not as simple as it looks on the surface. This was not a random outburst. Keys walked out there with a plan. He studied the moment, waited for the highest possible stakes, and then detonated everything on purpose. That is a calculated mind operating at a dangerous level. And the most unsettling part? It worked. The contract didn't get signed. The match isn't official. Keys achieved exactly what he came to achieve. Nobody expected this moment. Because the question everyone is now asking is not just what happens to the Cody vs. Gunther match? The question is, what is Royce Keys actually building toward? Is this a calculated power play for a future championship opportunity? Is this the beginning of something much, much larger? What if Keys knows something about Cody's title reign that the rest of us don't? What if this wasn't random? What if this was planned from the very beginning? The internet went nuclear. Fan reactions to this segment ranged from absolute fury to genuine excitement, because even the people who were furious about the interruption couldn't stop talking about it. That is the genius of a moment like this. You cannot be neutral. You either love it or you hate it, and both responses mean you are invested. The debate raged everywhere. Was this good for Smackdown? Was this good for the Cody vs. Gunther story? Is Royce Keys the most disrespectful man in WWE right now? And the answer to that last question, based purely on what we watched Friday night, might genuinely be yes. The backstage tension following this segment has been described as intense. There are rumblings about what WWE creative is building toward, and if the rumors circulating right now are even half true, the Smackdown moment was not a one-off. This was Chapter 1. But what happened next shocked everyone who thought they had figured out the direction of this story. Because within hours of Smackdown going off the air, new information began surfacing that reframes this entire situation, and when you hear it, it is going to change how you watch the next episode entirely. Let's be real about what Friday night proved. Smackdown is alive. The drama is real. The stakes are high. And in a wrestling landscape where you sometimes feel like you can predict the next move, Royce Keys just reminded every single one of us that we cannot predict anything. Cody Rhodes still needs to defend that championship. Gunther still wants to take it. And now Royce Keys has positioned himself as a human wild card in the middle of a match that was already must-see television. This is how great WWE storytelling works at its absolute best. You don't just build a match, you build a world around the match. You add friction. You add uncertainty. You make the audience ask, but when does this actually happen, and what is Royce Keys going to do when it does? The contract is still unsigned. The match is still not official. And Royce Keys is still out there. This is not over. This is just getting started. That is the breakdown, Slam Nation. That is the moment that stopped Smackdown dead in its tracks and reminded every wrestling fan why we are addicted to this product. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now. Are you riding with Cody Rhodes? Are you with Gunther and the Ring General's dominance? Or, and I genuinely want to know this, are you actually low-key respecting what Royce Keys did Friday night? There are no wrong answers here. This is Slam Nation. We debate. We discuss. We live for this drama. If you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button right now, because the next video is going to hit even harder than this one. Like this video if you got something out of this breakdown, share it with every wrestling fan you know, and turn those notifications on, because when WWE moves this fast, you cannot afford to miss a single upload. Slam Nation is where the WWE Universe comes to feel the moment all over again. We'll see you in the next one. The story is just getting started.